Luke Cook, what up, baby?
Damn!
Welcome back to the show.
How often do we do this? I feel like every 3 months.
Every couple of months.
A quarter.
Yeah.
Like once a quarter you have Luke Cook on.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Would you rather drink a cup of soybean oil or a teaspoon of glyphosate?
That's wow. I would probably rather do the soybean oil.
Okay.
I would probably, yeah. Calorically, that would be quite the load, but I mean, a tablespoon of glyphosate, that'll kill you. I don't think you would
Teaspoon,
die.
I said teaspoon.
Oh, teaspoon.
I mean, you probably eat that in a day with a regular meal.
Yeah, like I would way prefer that. As opposed to how much glyphosate?
A teaspoon.
A teaspoon of glyphosate
Like a
versus-
Roundup.
Yeah.
Like
I think that might kill you.
Really?
I don't know.
Of
but
what would you die of? Just like a toxic overload or like a...
Yeah, it's a neurotoxin. So that's how they kill like.
Oh, so you do admit that it's bad for you?
I'm not about to consume a teaspoon of it. What would be your answer?
I want to
I think
get the
soybean oil.
glyphosate.
The only reasonable answer is the soybean oil.
Right, but maybe the teaspoon just makes it's one and done. Like you just down the glyphosate and then you take a sip of water and it's done. And maybe there's so much glyphosate just everywhere anyway that my body would be like, I'm used to this. We've been here before.
That is an interesting question though. Like it's not something that I would have like considered.
Here's another one for you. If you had to join a Hollywood couple as a throuple, and you had to make it work relationally, like you didn't have not just sexual, like you're like I think we'd get along. Who would you join? Or it could be past or present.
Which Hollywood couple?
I know your answer.
Okay. Man, who I don't know.
Your answer is Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz.
Okay, maybe yes.
You reckon you'd get along with them?
I think I would. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
you'd
probably get
vibe.
along with
And what would you provide to that relationship? Like some wellness know-how?
Maybe some like some longevity advice, some nutritional counseling, some I don't know. I would just be I think I would just be like a fanboy. I'm also a big fan of Rachel Weisz.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. Yeah.
I think it is Vice.
Is it Vice?
You're probably right.
I think it's Vice.
Yeah.
She's a fellow. I think she's a member of the tribe. And
She is?
And yeah. And she's been in some of my favorite movies, like The Fountain. Have you ever seen The Fountain?
Yeah. Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah, one of the best.
And Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Darren Aronofsky directed it, and it's about it's a meditation on mortality. And that was one of the very few movies where I bawled my eyes out at the end.
Really?
Yeah, I was like crying.
Speaking of which, have you seen Hamnet?
I've not.
It is so heart-wrenching.
I'm a big fan of the show Good Cop, Bad Cop.
Oh, yeah.
Though, yeah.
Yeah, it's not as heart-wrenching as Hamnet.
It's not.
Swear to God, watch that movie, and if you don't cry at the end, then you're not a human. Which you might not be like 100% human.
No.
Like I've often thought that there's a cyborg element to you because you're so intelligent. Like
Maybe. Thank you. That's flattering.
does your girlfriend find that with you? Like, does she find you emotionally unavailable sometimes?
Yes.
So she's like, you're not emotionally reacting in proportion to what we're going through right now.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not the most emotive. I think I channel my, like, you're an artist, right? Like,
Very.
As an artist, don't you feel like part of what it means to be an artist is to channel your, whatever emotions that it is that you're going through your art?
Yes. Or like put yourself into the shoes of the character. Like, how would I feel should this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do. Like, in the past, it was songwriting. Now it's through like, books and art and kind of like social media stuff. But no, it's definitely like a weakness for me in terms of like
Your emotionality.
my romantic relationships. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also like, is that an empathy thing? Do you think?
I think it's like I'm maybe guarded. Maybe. I think it maybe comes from childhood. I read a book. Man, we're getting deep. I read a book a couple years ago it was about the concept of covert incest, which sounds really bad. It sounds like because people like associate incest with like sex, but it's when your parent makes you their surrogate partner emotionally, and that can kind of lead to you precociously becoming sort of like maybe overdeveloped emotionally and like guarded because you take the position of like being the man of the house as a child when you shouldn't be the man of the house as a child, obviously.
Yeah.
And my mom and my dad had a lot of like relationship stuff when I was a kid, and I think my mom in many ways made me like the stand-in. man in the house. So I think that has led to me being guarded, like emotionally,
Yeah.
possibly. I don't know.
No, totally. That stuff happens. And also, like, I see that all the time, particularly in comedians. Comedians tend to be people who didn't have they were the entertainment for the household because the household was so dark. So they would bring the light and they'd go, how can I make everyone happy around here? Because everyone is so down all the time.
Wow.
Right?
Interesting.
And then, interestingly enough, in Polynesian culture, Tahitian, Samoan, Tongan, when you have 3 boys or 4 boys and you don't have a girl, you turn the 4th one into a girl so that she does the chores around the house.
Huh.
So that trans culture in those parts of the world is completely normal and regular.
Fascinating.
Like literally they'll call you by a girl's name, treat you like a girl. You know, you don't go and play sport with the boys, you're going to stay here with mom.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's super interesting. The book that I mentioned earlier was called Silently Seduced, if anybody wants to check it out. One thing you just made me think of is completely a bit of a non sequitur, but are you familiar with EMDR therapy?
No.
It's like a component of therapy. I don't know all that much about it, but I had a therapist once who tried to do it on me, and I don't think it worked. But the idea is that bilateral stimulation of the body helps the brain better reprocess like old memories and traumas and things like that.
Right.
It's like a whole thing. And I was having a conversation recently with somebody, like a nutrition scientist, my friend Ty Beal, and he was telling me that one of the reasons why walking is so therapeutic is that it's a natural form of EMDR because you're bilaterally stimulating the body and mind when you're walking.
Yeah. Also, I feel like that it would make more sense for therapy for men to be outside walking because side by side is the ideal form of communication for us, whereas women are face to face. And the evolutionary idea of that is that you coddle a baby like this, but you shoot with a man, or you hunt for an animal side by side with a man.
Whoa!
And so you much prefer to sit this way, like we should be sitting this way.
That's so interesting.
And communicating rather than face to face, and men prefer that. But just on that, the therapy thing. MDMA therapy is becoming a thing in Australia right now. It came out in the New York Times today, and I'd heard of MDMA therapy before. It's kind of in the zeitgeist, but there people are complaining about the price. The price it's so expensive. And it turns out that it's amazing for PTSD. The ability to take MDMA, where you're in this very body's flooded with oxytocin and serotonin and all these hormones, and you can look back on traumatic times with more love and affection or whatever and process it clearly. And I'm like, the price is so funny to me because it's like, I'll get it for you for like $50. Like I can get you MDMA. And then,
we live in LA. We have sources.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, and then they do it with therapists and apparently it's incredibly expensive. I think that the thing about MDMA, which would be expensive, it's like, it's a 5-hour, 6-hour experience. It's not like a short one.
Have you ever taken it with your lady?
Yeah, my wife I have. I've taken it a bunch of times in different settings.
I've taken it a few times, yeah. I'm not something we're like endorsing or recommending or whatever, but here's the thing, like there's all this like really interesting clinical research on it. And I found like anecdotally it to be like a really potent emotional lubricant, like especially for somebody like me who struggles to like say what's what I'm feeling in that specific context. You know? It can be a really great like therapy, like a great salve. In
fact, the guy who's done all the research with the rats and things like that. It's Ben Reen, isn't it, from Stanford?
Yeah.
Who came here and he's been on your podcast before, and he talks about rats and all the experiments they're doing with that. It makes so much sense that it would be a good for you from time to time.
Yeah, emotionally, like psychically. It's not good for you physically. Like there's a neurologic cost. I think it can increase oxidative stress, like at the level of the neuron. Like it's definitely not good for you. I'm definitely not like endorsing it, recommending it, anything like that. Like caveat. But like the research that they're doing on it is fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think in the right set and setting, if you're a responsible like adult and like who knows is all I'm going to say.
Do it.
The possibilities are endless. But it's certainly not a free lunch. There are risks for sure.
So animals are gay.
Animals are gay.
Did you see this? Animals are gay. It's maybe the largest study they've ever done on like homosexuality in animal communities, and This is my favorite sentence from this whole thing. This predominantly involved mounting ventral to ventral, which is front to front. So like mouth to mouth, or like with dolphins, the hole, the blowhole. Ventral.
It's like missionary.
Ventral dorsal. That's kind of like reverse 69, or it's just 69, as well as genital touching and fellatio. Both male-male and female-female interactions were included, the study says. Same-sex interactions of a non-sexual nature were not counted to avoid ambiguity.
Fascinating.
Bonobos, dolphins, and sheep. Get this about sheep. 8% of rams show exclusive same-sex preference.
8% of rams.
Yeah.
Wow. So evidence of homosexuality in the animal kingdom.
Yeah. And like only, like rams are only into other rams, 8% of them. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Yeah.
So how do you get them to mount and like, how do you get them to actually, procreate?
It sounds complicated. It sounds interesting, but I mean, hormones influence sexuality, and animals are not alienated from the various hormonal exposures, the various exposures that may or may not influence hormones in utero that humans are exposed to, right? Like the world is becoming increasingly different. And so, I don't know, it would make sense. I mean, and there might even, who knows, maybe like, did the article suggest that there was like some kind of like adaptive aspect to it? Like
yes. So they were saying that in more stressful situations when they're under more threat, homosexuality was more common.
Interesting. And it's also used as a bonding, like as social bonding, right?
Social bonding. They're raising kids together. Penguins were in long-term same-sex pair bonding.
Fascinating.
Albatrosses.
Good for them.
Female. Incredible. The albatross, they were raising chicks together.
The gays really know how to have a good time. I mean, we live in LA, and like Pride Month, every June, like the whole city becomes like a party.
Black History Month, January or February?
February.
I should know that. February, saddest month. And then the gays get June. And I find that so unfair. Like, I'm like, surely the African Americans should have chosen a better month than February, where it's so cold and
often
dreary.
Cold. It's also like the shortest month.
28 days. And then the LGBTQ plus, they went June, baby. They thought about it.
My last neighborhood, West Hollywood. I mean, it's like the whole neighborhood would just erupt.
Oh yeah.
Every June, like as soon as it would hit June, it would just become, like street closures, and it was just like
every weekend was loud.
All that is to say that if animals are getting to partake, like if non-human animals are getting to partake in those festivities, like all year round, like power to them. I'm happy for them.
Totally.
Also, I like gay music. It's like a confession.
Yeah, I'm a gay music guy. I mean, you're talking to a veteran here. I'm George Michael, Madonna. There might be
Pet Shop Boys.
Pet Shop Boys, sure.
Yeah, like like a little EDM.
Yep.
Diva house.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's like a joie de vie. That, I mean, you used the term before we got rolling, but there's a joie de vie that they have because, like, think about the plight of a person who spent a significant proportion of their lives, right?
Yes.
Suppressed desire and
totally,
and then finally they're like out of the closet, right? Able to be who they truly are. Like there's a joy. I think there's like a liberation that comes with that, and that's where I feel like all the music and whatever.
For sure.
It reflects that.
What about Pedro Pascal recently came out?
Did he?
And yeah. Or at least he was photographed with his boyfriend out in public and stuff like that. And then it's so interesting to see him on the carpet when everyone's like, oh, we know he's gay now. And he's just got this air of liberation about him. Like he's like got a little purse. He cut the mustache off and just seems like more himself than he's ever been. So 100%, like you can imagine living like in the darkness or in the closet your whole life and not being able to be who you truly are. And then all of a sudden, let's just say you live in the Midwest where it's like not acceptable. And then you move to WeHo and you're like, let's fucking go.
Let's go. Yeah, it's true. So animals, I love that animals are getting a bit of that.
Yeah, they're getting a bit gay.
Yeah.
The GLP-1 love thing, I wanted to read this viral tweet for you because it came from, his name is Dr. Shin Jeong Yong. Mm-hmm. This is what he said. We initially thought GLP-1s like Ozempic, terzepatide, retatrutide just reduced food cravings. Now we know they work for alcohol, cocaine, gambling, and other addictions too. But do you know what runs on exactly the same circuit? Falling in love. GLP receptors sit in the exact same brain regions that light up when you're in love. The insane thing about them is that they don't just suppress appetite, they suppress wanting in general, including romantic craving another person. Something like 60 million plus people are now on anti-desire drugs, and it happened in the blink of an eye. Wow. I predict in the coming years, we will see people on these drugs be less able to fall in love. We will also see them fall out of love or be unable to feel it in relationships that were previously great. If your girlfriend or boyfriend started taking GLP-1s and your relationship started failing, there's a good chance that's why.
Wow. This actually doesn't surprise me. It's quite scary, actually. But these drugs work on the brain's reward pathways. So they don't just increase satiety. They don't just slow gastric emptying. They reduce food noise. They reduce cravings. They blunt the supernormal reward stimulus that a lot of like ultra processed foods impart on the brain. And so there's been, this signal in the literature that these drugs, that people taking them are also unwittingly like able to break other habits, like to gambling, to nail biting, smoking, things like that. I mean, we need more research to say for sure whether or not they're effective in those settings, but there seems to be this impact because in the brain, it's sort of like the reward center is sort of like Union Square in New York City, where there are all these different pathways that go through it, wanting and craving. And so it's great for somebody who's struggled with food noise their whole lives and addiction to eating to ultra processed foods, that it's able to tamp down, on the sense of reward that they get from food when it's become pathologic. But the fact that it might also like impact, romantic craving, like that's kind of scary.
Scary. But also it makes a lot of sense. Like I can see how that would maybe be the case. Another thing that they mentioned in the article that I read was that, your dating preference might just change too. Like you lose a whole bunch of weight and you feel different. You're more confident. Your preferences for who you want to date changes. All these things change. So it's it's like multi pathways as well. Like it's like what leads somebody to fall in love. Well, like the time of life that you're in, your own mental health and your own how you feel about yourself. All of those things affect who you fall in love with.
It's crazy. We had a physician named Sarah Hall on the podcast a couple years ago, and she was talking about how being on birth control changes what a woman finds to be attractive. Like when women are on birth control, I mean, I'm not expert in this. Like I'm probably, I hope I'm not butchering what she said, but that essentially birth control causes some women to find more attractive men who exhibit less
masculinity.
Yeah.
Like lower testosterone guys.
Lower testosterone. Yeah. So imagine for somebody who's on like a GLP-1 drug and birth control.
Right.
Like they're like lack of desire, finding people desirable who they wouldn't without the drug find desirable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster.
I think I've seen, I have been working at Training Mate, a gym for like 9 years. And what I've seen over the last few years is just incredible. Like I see people about once a week and I'll just see people disappear in a week. And they'll come back and they'll come in, I'll be like, oh, you're on it.
Wow.
Like you look completely different.
It's that fast.
It's so fast. And it like here is where it, like, with fat loss, like when you watch somebody here, like they disappear around the chin and jaw and the face and it's like, oh, wow. And I can just immediately tell like that was so fast. There's no doubt that was a GLP.
Wow.
It's like it's like with a puppy. If you spend every day with it, you're like, oh, I haven't seen you grow. And then everyone sees it's gotten so big and you don't know because you see them every day. With a once a week thing, like usually on a fat loss phase, it probably takes months in order for you to, hey, wow, you actually have lost lots of weight now I think about it. But if you see somebody once a week and you see that change, it's like something drastic has happened here.
Huh. And the question is like, I've always wondered, does the skin, is it too fast for the skin to like appropriately reorient itself around the new body size?
I don't know the answer to that question. That's a really good question. I've seen a friend who honestly... She's such a legend, but she is truly transformed. It is actually incredible the way and her confidence and like she's like high school crushes who never looked at me twice and now writing to me, and she's on retatrutide.
Wow!
And so she's just she looks incredible.
I will say you don't really hear much about the whole like body positivity, like health at any size movement these days.
Well, I just saw that Gillian Anderson, Gillian Michaels from
Trainer,
Biggest Loser.
Yeah,
she just went on Jubilee and faced like 20 plus body positivity people. They have gone quiet because a lot of their, Amy Schumer's and all the people who were with them are now on Ozempic or GLP-1s as well. So it's like,
yeah, some people have suggested that it was just like them not wanting to do the work necessarily, and now that the shot's available.
Yeah, and also like as if you wouldn't want to know. Like even if you are body positive, like I love myself at this size, it's like actually I would like to see what would happen.
You should love yourself at any size, but
this is the test. Like, okay, you love yourself at the large size. Let's see if you love yourself at the small size.
Yeah.
Like, let's see. Let's put you on GLP-1.
Amen.
Yeah.
I mean, you're reducing your risk for cardiovascular disease, for dementia, for type 2 diabetes. I mean, I think it's like, for somebody who has just spent a lifetime yo-yo dieting and hasn't been able to find the paradigm that works for them, and maybe they're just like chronically overwhelmed by food noise, and maybe they live in an environment that's just that makes overeating the path of least resistance. Like I think it's amazing to have as a failsafe.
100%.
The problem is we live in LA, so we see people using it for vanity purposes all the time.
Yes. Yeah, and I know couples who are doing it together, and I almost think that in regards to this makes sense for them to do it together rather than for one to not do it.
Oh, interesting.
If they both do it together. I've seen people just like two people at once just going, wow, you guys look like a completely different pair.
Wow.
Now. So I think net positive for me. I'm like you said, for people who just have never been able to get in control of it and have always wanted to, and also to be able to live I would like to see if that's possible. It's like steroids. It's like, I want to see how big I can get.
Exactly.
Like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now we've pushed MDMA.
We push, yeah.
GLP-1 steroids. There's nothing we're not pushing. We're fans.
I mean, I think like as long as you do it in a way that's safe and you're doing it from a place of curiosity and like intentionally, and you're aware of the risks. Like, I'm all about body autonomy, right? So I can't be like selectively pro body autonomy. Like, do whatever you want, but just make sure that you're doing it safely and you're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 100%. But it's funny, it's a nuanced thing. It's just kind of like our next subject, which is nicotine. Now nicotine, Max, I blame you because I was like, I don't need nicotine. I don't want nicotine. And then you gave me a snus and I was like, this is too much. The Zin. And I was like, this is too much for me. It's spicy. It makes me nauseous. And then I started chewing a nicotine gum and I loved it.
You loved it.
I loved it. I had a really light one and I was like, just one a day. And then I find myself like, I have a coffee in the morning. I'm like, you know what would go well with this is a nicotine gum. And so now I'm doing it more than I've ever done in my whole life out of nowhere because of you. You were the seed. And now now you posted the other day that it's like maybe not great for the spine. It's nicotine. It seems like it's not great for the spine. Maybe it has an effect on collagen synthesis.
Wow.
It seems to be nuanced though. Like the GLP-1, like it obviously increases. GLP-1s are obviously great for your cardiovascular health, fertility. Like it's improved in sperm quality in men. All these things about GLP-1s. Nicotine seems to be amazing for the neurodivergent. Seems to be great for cognition. I have an example in here about an autistic boy who's violently aggressive, who they trialed on, it was just N=1 experiment, and giving him nicotine completely calmed down those violent episodes.
Wow.
And I think it was done at Yale. So it was like, but it was still N of 1, only one person.
Fascinating.
And that's what they found.
Wow. Very interesting. I think also they're using it in like long COVID. I could be wrong.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry about that. Nicotine it's not a free lunch. I use it for the cognitive boost, and I don't have an addictive personality, so like I'm not addicted to it, and I am well aware of the risks, of which there are many. But as a focusing tool, as a tool to focus, and like lock in, as the kids are saying, I think it's like it's a great tool, but there are downsides. Like it's not good for cardiorespiratory system. It's not good for your joints. And it is, I think that its addictive qualities are debated. I think some people get like really quickly addicted to it and others, don't. I'm not like addicted to it, but I'll take like a low dose before, a podcast sometimes, before I need to hammer out some work. But there was a point where I was using more than I probably should have been, and just because I enjoyed it. But then I felt it was very obvious how it was, because it's vasoconstrictive, it reduces blood flow, it increases heart rate, it increases blood pressure. None of those things chronically are good for you. So once I kind of came to terms with that, I stopped completely cold turkey, which was easy for me to do. Then I had spine surgery, so I definitely didn't do it around the spine surgery for months. And at this point, I'll use it very infrequently, but in the setting of work stuff specifically, no longer recreationally or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as a nootropic, I think there are a lot of podcasters who've presented it as a healthy thing. Mm-hmm. It's not. I'm not saying that it's healthy, but it can be used as a tool. Caffeine. You can develop an unhealthy relationship with caffeine. 100%. Drinking it too late into the day. Mm-hmm. Caffeine, also can increase your heart rate. It can impair sleep. We know that, sleep is incredibly important from the standpoint of health. So, like all things, you just have to be able to have a healthy relationship with it. And as adults, I think that you should be able to, make these decisions for yourself.
100%. The way that I was using it at the beginning when I was healthy, was when I was using it well, I was using it. I never drank an afternoon coffee anyway, but I was sometimes I feel like one. I'm going to have nicotine instead, kind of give me the extra boost of focus, and then also be great with my sleep at that night, so I wouldn't interrupt it with the caffeine. And honestly, I love it still, because in the afternoon I want to come from work and give my best to my work in the afternoon, but also then go and see my sons and be on as well. I don't want to give them this shell of a man who's given his best to work, you know what I mean? And so to be kind of on a little bit for them.
Yeah. It has a really short half-life compared to caffeine. So yeah, it's not going to mess up your sleep. And sorry, I cut you off.
What is the half-life thing? Could you explain half-life to me?
Yeah, it's just the amount of time that it takes for half of it to have been metabolized and to have left your system. So for nicotine, I believe the half-life is 2 hours. It's very short.
Yeah.
If not, it could be somewhere between 2 and 4, but for coffee it's 8. So it's much longer.
Yeah. So I saw the utility of it, and then I heard Rhonda Patrick talk about it negatively, saying, cardiovascular, and I like to chew gum when I work out. And so I was like, okay, well, I won't chew it when I work out. That's when I won't take tobacco or nicotine. So I do it in the afternoon. Then I heard Ben Bickman talk about it in a very nuanced way, including one study that he linked it to about rats losing fat. Even so, self-administered, there was an hour of the day when they'd allowed them to have tobacco, and the rats that took the tobacco versus a placebo kept lean mass and lost fat on the same diet as every other rat.
Interesting.
What do you think about the rat stuff? What do you think about whenever there's a mice or a rat study, you're interesting, but nothing to take home about that?
Yeah. No, I think interesting, not necessarily going to be applicable to humans. I was going to add though, I think that a lot of the people that you see speaking positively about nicotine are low key probably addicted to it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
They're low key, if I don't think that anybody should be promoting it as a healthy thing. I think you're better off not using any of it. But if you want to, you choose to, and it helps you, it makes you better at what it is that you do, then by all means do it. But I think a lot of people in our space that are promoting it, low key probably doing a lot of it.
And are making some money from it too.
Maybe even making some money from it.
And then there's, the thing about pyrazines, which are usually they're put into cigarette products, but they essentially give you the feeling of nicotine, but they're not nicotine. So a lot of the rush that you might get from a cigarette is from the pyrazines, which are also in the tobacco.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if they're an added chemical, but they seem to be make the effects of nicotine kind of felt a little bit more, but they're also bad for you. But they're actually bad for you.
I wonder if the GLP-1 drugs, the GLP-1 drugs might help people come off of
nicotine.
Yeah. There was a oh man, there was a study that was published recently that found that psilocybin. We're talking about all the illicit substances today. Yeah, all the good shit. That one therapeutic dose of psilocybin led to smoking cessation for 6 months after the treatment. And it was like, they found it to be way more effective than nicotine patches.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like very, very effective for quitting smoking, which, I'm surprised that people still smoke these days, but.
Yeah. I think it's gone, people are going analog. Like, it's like, oh, let's go back to the old days, let's get big gas cars. And
have you seen that? I mean, you're a working actor. Like, there have been articles, like think pieces about how smoking in Hollywood has become quote unquote cool again.
There's one actor who I'm thinking about who's my friend, Gavin Leatherwood, legend, but he smokes cigarettes. And I'm like, you're such an idiot. He's like, it's back, It's back. I'm like, no, it's not, Gavin. Stop it.
Stop.
He also rides a motorbike. He's a full idiot.
Wow.
But he's like a James Dean type actor. Like me on a motorbike smoking a cigarette is like, what is this goofus doing on a motorbike? He's gonna die. But he makes it look cool.
Man, I don't want to throw motorcycle riders under the bus, but
they do that to themselves.
Yeah, literally. But that was good. No, but something crazy. So there was a time when I wanted to learn how to ride a motorcycle and even get one. I was obsessed with the show. Have you seen the Ewan McGregor's show?
Yeah.
With Charlie Borman, where they ride around like the world,
sick,
on motorcycles. Incredible. Yeah. So I saw after I had seen the first season of that show, The Long Way Round, I was like, I've got to get a bike. This is so freaking cool. And I was like, for a couple of years, I was like, really, I never actually went through with it, but I was like very curious about it. And then I started to realize this pattern where this is like really morose, but when I go over to my like explore page on Instagram, sometimes I'll see like really young people with like amputations that aren't like, overweight. Like doesn't seem like it would be due to type 2 diabetes or anything. So I go over, and I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, when I see like on my explore page, like a young person with an amputation pop up, it's due to a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
Really scary.
It is. And like, I was talking about my friend Gavin, but I'm like, you should stop doing it, bro. You're so stupid. He's like, people don't know how to ride. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe you don't either. Like, I just find that that attitude of like, I'm a really good driver. It wouldn't happen to me. It's like, yeah, but maybe you have a lapse in judgment once. How do you trust yourself in that way where you're just like, I'm always good? It's like, no, you're not. Everyone has a moment of lapse. And also like, you can't trust the people around you. You might be good, but everyone else is dumb.
Yeah.
Like, and I just find it, and especially in LA, I'm like, oh, LA's so. I used to ride a bike because there was a time in my life here where I couldn't afford a car, and so I was riding a bicycle, and I got hit in a bike lane, smashed my shoulder. I've got this big silly dent here.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, and then I got back on a bike after that, and I was like, I can't do it. You just see problems everywhere. Once you see the problem, you're like, and the idiots are just everywhere. I was literally in a bike lane, and a guy just turned right in front of me. I was like, I'll never do this again.
Yeah, you could be doing everything right, but it's like the other guy.
Yeah, you're in a bike lane.
Yeah. My dad always says you got to watch out for the other guy.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I have a Tesla. Do you have a Tesla?
I do not know.
I have a Tesla that drives itself. It's
crazy.
Sensational. It's so cool. And honestly, sometimes it drives better than, like, I'm watching it, so it takes some time to get used to giving the power over to the car.
It's kind of emasculating.
But for me, I'm relaxed. I like it. It might be a little bit emasculating to some. But
just sitting there?
I just sit there. But what you realize is like, you're like, I would brake now. And it's like, it's broken. Like, it's already braking. And like, I would turn, and it's like, it's on it. It's like, and then so I'm on the freeway the other day, and in California, you're allowed to motorbike up the middle of a lane, and my Tesla's already out of the way. And I'm like, I didn't even see that guy.
Wow.
Like, but it's like, it's just aware of much more than I'm aware of. So over time, you're like, you get used to it. You're like, I would stop, and it's already stopping. Like, and it's just as good as you, if not better.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I have some experience. Yeah, my girlfriend has a Tesla with full self-driving, and I've like operated it, and it's like magic.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They're really good.
Really good.
Yeah. I do think my kids will never drive.
I think ultimately it's going to be they're so obviously better than human drivers that it might get to a point where we realize that like all cars need to have this capability to some degree.
Yeah.
I wonder if I mean, it's sort of like what makes a Tesla, but I would be surprised if Elon didn't make it open source to some degree.
Yeah.
Just because like you imagine like if every car is wired to this network, might one day auto accidents become a thing of the past.
Exactly.
It's possible.
Exactly. Speaking of that, because I'm a founder. I'm constantly thinking about AI, and everyone in e-commerce is thinking about AI all the time and talking about it, and it's really exhausting. But I'd love to know what you think about the future of AI in regards to health and medicine. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's incredible. Yeah, I was watching something that Gary Vee posted recently. Gary Vaynerchuk, I thought he's really good at like the profound like sound bites, but he was talking about AI and how, if we might look cynically at AI now because of the disruption, obviously, that it's bringing to all industries. People are losing their jobs, but if AI is one day able to tap into the wealth of human knowledge and like elucidate a cure for something that like a loved one of yours is suffering from, then I think it's going to be incredible. And I think that AI very much has that capability.
Well, it's certainly smarter than doctors already.
Yeah.
There is countless apps. My friend has one called Augie, which is absolutely sensational, and essentially like takes all of your data from all of your doctors and puts it into one place, including all of your wearable data, and has it in one place. And the way that you can talk to even ChatGPT about what you're going through and what you're experiencing, and its ability to go from hundreds of thousands of sources, probably millions, to give you like what it thinks it might be. A doctor doesn't have that capability. It has like, a doctor will have very limited ideas of a few different studies of the latest, maybe if you've got a good one, but AI is just leaps and bounds ahead of them.
It's incredible. You still need to have like the doctor, I think a doctor plus the tools of AI. I think that's the combination that I want to see. I want to see more doctors embracing AI, and I'm sure they already are. I think you'd have to be stupid not to at this point. But yeah, it's incredible. It's not perfect. Like as a writer and as somebody with like a level of expertise, like in the domain of like, what I write and talk about, like it definitely will make errors. And its writing is kind of banal. Like it doesn't really have much of a, personality or voice. And there are these like fingerprints, these annoying fingerprints of AI that are, very obvious that it's not X, it's not Y, it's Z, like that whole thing.
Yes. Kills me.
Yeah, but that being said, like its capabilities are tremendous. Like as a writer, you used to need to pay, there are book doctors, there are ghost writers, there are like research assistants, there are writing assistants, and like AI kind of, does a lot of that stuff for me, and it's very competent in that regard. I still have to be at the wheel.
Totally. It's
not like a Tesla just yet with regards to like writing and like these really sort of niche knowledge domains, but like it's very impressive. Do you use it?
I do use it. I'm conscious of when I use it. Like as a creative, you want to keep your brain, the area of your brain that's yours. For instance, if you're a less creative person and you want to make content, you can go to AI and it'll help you, but your brain will cease to work at trying to figure that out anymore. And so I think that you got to be like quite conscious of it. With things that I never have given a crap about, accounting, running my business and all the numbers of my business, I'm like, great, take over that. I don't want to think about that. And I never have wanted to. I'm really happy with all the things that my brain does, but I really don't want to taper that. I want to make sure that I'm as free thinking, as creative as possible, and I don't ever want to give that power over to AI because I know myself, and I'll just switch it off. I'll be like, okay, I don't have to try anymore.
It reduces the friction though. Like it allows you the ability to produce like the output of what would in the past have required a team to do, which I think is incredible. And for business stuff, it makes perfect sense. For writing, it makes perfect sense. Is there a use case for it as an actor?
There, as a writer, like as a screenwriter, there is. As an actor, there isn't. I can't think of a use case for AI unless you get it to read with you an audition, which is actually a great idea.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
They're probably already doing that.
There's an app called what? What was it? Line Reader? Wasn't there an app?
Yeah. There is an app where it's a line reader, but it would have been bad. Like it wouldn't have been very good. But considering we all film auditions from our studios now, home studios, and we're usually reading with someone who's over Zoom, it's like, oh, I can actually eradicate that person. I don't have to pay them anymore. Yeah, there's a way. I mean, actors will probably be replaced at some point soon. Certainly extras, background actors will get replaced.
Did you hear there's a movie they're using an AI Val Kilmer?
Oh yeah, that's awful.
It's crazy.
I hate that so much. I'm like, the thing about life is like, go until you die, and then we'll miss you. Let us miss you. Go away. Like you weren't that. You were great while you were alive. We don't need you to continue. Like it's like Nicolas Cage has the same thing, that when he passes away, he sold his likeness.
Interesting.
And I'm like, just go away. Give other people a turn. You've had a great life and a great run. You're really interesting, but you can stop. And that's what makes life interesting. Like it stops at some point. That's what makes it special.
Yeah.
If you just continue on, then it's like, oh, this is going to suck eventually.
You want to leave a canon behind. You don't want to become the slop.
Yeah, right. Dude, Michael Caine has sold his voiceover to 11 Labs, which is like an AI voiceover. You can pay enough money and get his voice. He doesn't need to record anything for you. It just sounds exactly like him. McConaughey's done the exact same thing. So they get paid a price, and their voiceover can be bought.
Damn.
For ads or whatever.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wild. Have you heard about this new? I think it's really funny. They've branded the rice and beef bowl as boy kibble. I wanted to talk to you about this because, I think it's really good from the standpoint of adhering to a diet, whether it's a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus, whatever it is, meeting your goals with regards to body composition, metabolic health. I think it's really important to have meals that you can set and forget, and also to embrace the concept that not every meal needs to deliver fireworks, right?
Yeah,
sometimes it's good to have a meal that's enjoyable, but isn't necessarily pushing your brain to a bliss point beyond which like self-control is impossible, right? And so a lot of bodybuilders have long embraced, like it's almost a cliche at this point, right? Like the chicken, the rice, and the broccoli. But your protein doesn't have to be chicken. It could be ground beef. And so there have gone viral these bowls of like essentially just ground beef with a little bit of seasoning and rice and a veggie. And some in the legacy media have branded such a dish boy kibble, which I thought was really funny.
Super funny. Also, I've seen a great meme recently, which is like adulthood is just figuring out how to make ground beef or chicken interesting. Like it's like you just over and over again, and it's the most cost effective of all the protein sources. Ground beef, ground chicken is the best, or any ground meat. It's the most cost effective, is the easiest. You just toss it in, and you hard to mess it up. But you throw a bit of taco seasoning on, and you got something completely different. I love it. Like I love it. And also, but I think that one of the keys to my health is my ability to embrace boring, like just plain. Like it's like I'm gonna eat this beef with some salt and pepper and be happy with it. Whereas I do look at people around me who are less healthy, more overweight, and I always notice a need to slap shit on it. Mm-hmm. Or like they won't drink water. They have to have a LaCroix. And I'm like, why can't you just drink a water? Like there's this thing where it's like, it has to be more than this. It has to be interesting and fun for my mouth all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, there's a whole like line of neuroscience looking into like the way the cravings that different people have and the necessity for reward that certain people have. And it's not something to like scoff at. Like this is a really important thing. Some people just like have a higher baseline necessity for reward. And when applied to food, I mean, that's part of the reason why I think so many people today struggle with overweight and obesity is that like modern foods provide regularly, and they're always at arm's reach, right? Super normal reward.
Yeah.
Like super normal, like above the normal threshold of reward to the brain. And like ultra processed foods are notorious for being able to provide that because they combine, right? Like fat, cheap oils and refined carbs and sugar and salt. It's like cookie dough, right?
Yeah.
Like when has a hunter-gatherer ever encountered something, you know, even remotely as delicious as cookie dough, right?
Yes. I think about like some of the chips, like Doritos and stuff like that. Or people always talk about McDonald's Sprite as the thing that would absolutely kill like a like a 1600s, a guy from the 1600s. They just like explode. They're like, I wouldn't know what the hell that does to me.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And so I think, get like reacquainting yourself, because also there's the concept of hedonic adaptation, which is I think how dependency is created. Like we adapt, like we're a very adaptable species. So when you're just like training your brain to expect rewards at every meal, you adapt to that. And at a certain point, you require more. You require a higher degree of stimulus to give you that same sense of reward.
Yeah.
And you can see it in pornography. You can see it in gambling. You can see it like in any drug of abuse. It's crazy. I mean, nicotine, going back to nicotine's like the perfect example where like people adapt to a given dose of nicotine really fast, and that's part of what makes it such an addictive compound. It's that you require escalation of the dose in order to give you the same buzz that you got from, you know, once at one point like a much lower dose.
Yeah.
So reacquainting yourself to quote unquote boring food like boy kibble, I think is actually a really smart strategy.
I was thinking about my kids. My kids have never had soft drink. Like they've never had pop or Coke, anything. Whereas I think at their age, 5, I think at 5 I'd had a Coke when I was young, like Fanta, whatever. They've never experienced that. I was just thinking about that.
Do you drink diet sodas?
On a set. Like if I'm like, come on, let's have some fun. You know, let's have a Diet Coke. I'll drink one for sure. But my kids have never experienced that, and actually it's quite normal even in our community. Like you go to a kids party and there'll be like fun stuff, candy and that, but there won't be that. There won't be soft drink. There won't be, and it's interesting. I'm like, oh, maybe I should just film them sometime having their first Coke.
Man, I had I tried this new. It's like sold out everywhere now. Maybe I've had something to do with it, but the 7-Up Shirley Temple diet, 0 sugar Shirley Temple flavored 7-Up. Dude, it's like one of the best things I've ever had in my life. Like it's like.
And Shirley Temple means like red. Like is it a red flavoring or something like
it's like an American thing. Yeah, it's
okay.
like as a kid you would drink it. It's 7-Up with grenadine, which I think is like a cherry pomegranate.
Yes.
Syrup.
Yeah, we used to have that. Was it called pink lemonade?
Something like that.
It's like grenadine with 7-Up or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a little maraschino cherry on top.
Yeah, yum.
Like as a kid, yeah. You have them all the time. And so yeah, 7-Up like came out with this version, and it's like it's got all the bad things. It's like, you know, aspartame, red 40.
Yep.
But so good, bro. Like.
Yeah, I mean, once your brain's developed, it's probably good once in a while to just have a little fun. The kids, I don't think it is. I really don't think it's good to like with my sons, the way that it is you get them going on one thing and they'll always ask for it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad they don't know about that, because I'll ask for that too.
Smart.
Yeah.
Well, you're a dad. That's how, don't they say that within the first like 100 days or 1,000 days, or I don't even know, like no sugar, no added
it's
sugar.
like first 3 years or something like that. I mean, we've never been that serious, but we are deeply aware of sugar in our house. Like, you know, not of just of like refined sugar. We love fruit and all that stuff, but even juice. Like my sons wake up and there's always some orange juice or coconut water, and I'm like, guys, no, you can have fruit first thing. I don't want you to have that first thing in the morning. I'm always aware of the way they start. I don't want a big insulin spike first thing in the day, you know, messing up your mood and all that stuff. And they are little moody buggers, so you got to be careful. Like, you know, blood glucose and mood is directly affected. For me, it is. I know if I have a big old bolus of sugar, I'm like, I become a bitch like an hour later.
You're always a bitch. Just kidding. What about shake? Do you give them Shake Well?
Mm-hmm. If they want it, like I never, like it's not really for kids, but they love it. They just like, I'm just aware of allulose being quite. I just feels adult to me. Allulose is kind of like, allulose is amazing for you, boosts GLP-1, but it definitely doesn't spike any blood sugar. It just it seems adult to me. It doesn't seem like something you give to kids.
We were talking before we got rolling, a really interesting and cool way, like I learned this fairly recently, but an interesting way to determine whether or not the protein in whatever it is that you're eating, granted, I think it's got to be a packaged food. It has to have like a nutrition facts panel on it. But how to determine whether or not the protein in the food that you're eating is of sufficiently high quality to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, right? Am I describing that properly?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I think 50 grams a day is 100% of your recommended daily intake.
Which is crazy low.
Yeah, super
but
low.
They just had to set something for the purpose of the nutrition facts label. The recommendations are not for anybody to consume only 50 grams of protein per day, but just for the purposes of the label, they've set it at 50.
But it's a great, once you find this out, what we're talking about right now, it changes the way that you look at it. And you can kind of figure some things out about it. So my protein shake well has 25 grams of protein from whey protein isolate. And so you'll see 25 grams and it'll be 50%. So that means that it has a perfect protein quality. It's a whole protein. Whereas if it was 25 grams of protein from collagen protein synthesis, would it be 0?
It would be 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because collagen, so the way that you figure this out is you multiply the amount of protein on the label, the amount of protein in the product, by whatever its PDCAAS is. It's protein digestibility corrected amino acid score. Is. And so for like whey protein, for most high quality proteins, it's 1.
Right.
So with Shakewell, you get 25 grams of protein in a serving. So you multiply that by 1, it's 25. And then you divide that by 50. And so what you get when you divide 25 by 50 is 0.5.
Right.
So it's 50%, which tells you if 50% is double the amount of grams of protein, then you have then all of the protein in Shakewell or whatever the product is of sufficiently high quality.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'll see on labels, you'll see like 20 grams of protein and then it's like 10% of the daily value. And so what that tells you is that there's like a sleight of hand happening where not all of the 20 grams of protein that are in the product are from a high quality protein source. Yeah. So some could be collagen.
Maybe a plant protein.
Yeah.
And plant proteins can be of a high quality, but there are some, I think this is good intel though. Like, so for instance, if you take an OWYN, an OWYN, only what you need, they're like a vegan, regular protein shake. I think I'd be interested to see, like, because sometimes they have a PDCAAS score of like 0.8, a vegan protein. It's not a perfect high quality protein source. And that would feed into that percentage too. And then also you have nitrogen spiking, which is like what in big ag, when they're selling a protein shake, they'll spike a drink or a protein bar with certain amino acids to increase the nitrogen amount in order to say that that's a quality protein source, even when it's not. So cheap protein sources, like, even though like it's good something's cheap and it's good that it has protein in it, but you can't necessarily trust it as far as like ultra processed protein snacks are concerned.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
So I just to show a counter example, I'm a fan of the More or Less gummies, but the primary protein in More or Less gummies is collagen.
Right.
So in a serving of More or Less gummies, you get 10 grams of protein. But I've noticed that the percent daily value on the, and this is not to throw the brand, I think that they're great gummies. Like, they taste great. They're protein is going to be satiating no matter what. And I also think that collagen is unfairly demonized from the standpoint of the PDCAAS because it has no tryptophan in it. But it's got other amino acids. It's got a little bit of leucine. It's got glycine. But just for the purpose of the illustration, so the More or Less gummies have 10 grams of protein. But curiously, when you look at the percent daily value, it's 4%.
Right.
So if all 10 grams were of high quality, you'd see 20%. But instead, you see 4%. So what that tells you is that only 2 grams of the More or Less gummies are coming from whey protein.
Right.
Which has a PDCAAS of 1.
So maybe not the best for muscle protein synthesis, but maybe good for sleep and, you know, like, be super high in glycine.
Exactly.
Good for the gut.
Yeah, and like as a collagen supplement. Like, I don't think a collagen's useless, but it's not the best choice for the job of stimulating muscle protein synthesis.
Speaking of protein supplements, the David furor is really interesting.
Very interesting.
About they supposedly have 150 calories, but it's alleged that they don't, and that they're lying about it. And they're essentially they say that they're lying about it because it's this thing called EPG, which is like modified plant fat. It's the fat source in David that gives it the fatty mouthfeel, but it's not digested by the body. But that's what I think that the claim is, like, it is digested by the body and has to be counted as calories, even though it's not really digested. It's like fiber. It just goes through you. It doesn't have zero effect on you, though. Like, I'd say that something that you consume that you don't digest, that's weird. Like, it's good to raise an eyebrow at something like that. And if you have 2 David bars, you find out. That it's like, ow, that hurts.
Well, yeah, you have it changes the texture and consistency of your output.
Right. Yeah.
Because those fats are flowing through you.
Yeah.
So
I think
you could do the math.
Yeah. So it is and the furor is like, David bars are only loved by people who care about only macronutrients. Like, if you care about high quality ingredients, you're probably not into David bars anyway. So if they were lying about that, that's terrible. But I don't think that they are. I think that they're having a fight about it. What I think is wrong with the David bar is the fact that they've taken this EPG, which I don't think is great for you, but they've monopolized it. Now they own it. They bought it out. So now all these other small businesses who are planning on making a sauce out of the EPG to give a fatty mouthfeel with 0 grams of fat or whatever, they can't use it anymore. And so I find that unfair. It'd be like Shakewell, like, owning allulose and no one else can use it.
Yeah.
It's such a handy little ingredient that to take it away from everybody kind of seems unfair. And EPG is one of those things, like, even though I don't think it's great for you, I'm like, I can see its utility. It's like kind of like a GLP-1. It's a trick of the body. It's like, oh, I can taste fat, but that's not real fat. Like, I'm not going to digest that.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's what I find unfair. Like, I do think, like, as a business practice, it's awful to monopolize something.
Yeah.
Just take it away from everybody.
It's very monopolistic. It's very like predatory. I agree with that, but I also do. I believe them. Like, I think that the criticism that they've gotten is to some degree unfair. Like, the class action lawsuit against them is claiming that their label doesn't accurately portray its accurate nutrition facts, but that's because it relies on a form of calorie assessment, energy assessment that is pre-digestion. So pre-digestion, it might have a certain number of grams of fat, but that is neglecting the fact that those fats don't actually absorb. So,
right.
So I'm actually on the side of David in the sense that, like, yeah, you're probably, like, it's from a practical standpoint, what it says on its nutrition facts is probably something that you can rely on. Mm-hmm. The class action lawsuit is just ignoring the unique biochemistry of the EPG fat.
Yeah. Do I think I think they're net. I think that David bars aren't good for the world, but I'm with you. I think that they're in the right here. It probably is 150 calories.
Yeah, I don't eat them. I mean, I think I've got there are, I think, healthier ways to get that protein.
100%. I mean, I always think with protein supplements, like, I'm like, does it beat a scoop of whey in some water that you shake up and drink? Like, now, taste-wise, a scoop of whey is just like drinking skim milk powder or something. Like, that's, like, it's not a great taste. But will you give up the kind of nothing taste from that for something that tastes good but has all this other crap in it? That's what my thinking is around, like, protein supplements. I'm like, does it just beat a scoop of whey in a bottle? Like, does it beat that? It's like, and most of the time, like, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Like, no, it doesn't beat a scoop of whey.
Yeah.
Shakewell does. Shakewell is with fresh whey, micronutrients, electrolytes, naturally occurring electrolytes and micronutrients, which is really cool, and allulose, which I see is, like, even though it's non-nutritive and it's a rare sugar, I still see it as something that's, like, net positive for you. Whereas, you look at a David bar and you go, like, a scoop of whey beats that.
For sure. And we also don't know, I mean, calories aside, we don't know the long-term human health effects of regularly consuming EPG. Like, is it taking fat-soluble nutrients along for the ride, as it exits your body? Like, that we don't know. So
right.
I think it's good to err on the side of caution.
Yeah. And also, I do think it's valid to like look at a product, to look at an ingredient and go, how do they make that? And when you find out how they make that, to go, I don't want to eat that. Like vegetable oils seem to have everyone going, no, the science is saying it's all good. And it's like, you know what's fair? Look at how that's made. And look at it and go, do I want to eat that? And the answer is probably no. Once you know enough about how the hell they make that crap, deodorizing it, bleaching it in order to make it somewhat palatable. And when by palatable, I mean like you can't really taste it because it's so disgusting in its pure form. That's a fair enough idea to go, actually, I don't want to eat that, thanks.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to take a stance against seed oils, even though, you know, Dr. Ids and all these psychopaths will be like, but the science. I'm like, yeah, people are allowed to like make up their own minds for why they don't think something's good for you. And it doesn't actually rely on your PMIDs. It actually can like just a little bit of common sense. Where does that come from? How is that made? How has that been made for me to digest and eat? Like, what's the process that it's gone through to make it palatable for me? That's disgusting. I don't want to eat it. That's my PMID, bitch.
That's my PMID, bitch. Man, amen. Yeah, I think like we've got to be able to have like a sense of intuition about what it is that we're eating and what we're feeding our families as well. It's crucially important.
For sure.
Yeah. Luke Cook, always fun.
So good.
Yeah. Time always flies. And by the way, like people that like regular listeners of the show, I always get the feedback that like we love the Max and Luke mind meld. So
yeah,
thanks for coming out. Remind listeners where they can find you online. You guys got to go and follow Luke. He's the man.
Yeah, please follow me on Instagram or TikTok at @TheLukeCook, and GetShakeWorld.com is where I sell my protein shakes.
One of my favorite content creators, hilarious. Everything you put out, like I've got you on my like alerts, like whenever you post. So
thank you, mate.
Yeah, just one of the goats in the space. Thanks for coming out. Thank you guys for listening. Share this episode, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace. Hey, if you liked that video, you need to check out this one here, and I'll see you there.